Good evening, everyone. Let this load up a moment. Get comfy. Get my drink. God, I love this chair, but it's so noisy. And I'm restless, usually. From Reno, Nevada. First one in. Tim. Sorry, guys, I'm just getting a couple things together here. Hello, everybody. Here we go. Now we're loading up. See Arkansas, Michigan, Southeast Kentucky, Michigan again, Ohio, Wisconsin, Louisiana, Arizona, Missouri, Virginia, Florida, upstate New York. I like how you have to differentiate. We're from upstate. We're not from New York City. I love it. Aldrita. I had a buddy in college that was from upstate New York. He actually came to Morehead State University in Kentucky to bowl, of all things. I guess Morehead State, small little college that it was, had one of the nation's best bowling teams. And yeah, he was a pretty cool cat. I don't have anything against y'all up there in New York. Some of y'all are pretty good folk. Georgia, welcome everyone. So guys, just to be completely transparent, my day has been absolutely busy. It looks like I've been on Facebook all day, but I'll tell you what we did a lot of today is shopping for furniture, picking out what we're going to be putting in the new home. It's drained my mind, honestly. So I didn't honestly get to Facebook a lot today, or dig into much information. It was pretty quiet as far as I could tell. Don't know if it's because it's a Saturday, but I do have a few things to go over today. Just some slides that I'd put together, nothing crazy, but some good information none the least. Let's see here. I'm showing 400. We're going to let it get a little bit higher before we get going. Again, I always keep scrolling, even while we're loading up, because sometimes I'll see something that just got posted or maybe I hadn't caught yet today. I tell you one thing, though, my Facebook does not have, like, when I log in through a PC, it doesn't have like the same cookies, I guess, like the same algorithm to show me things that I usually look at. So it's usually harder for me to find information off my PC than it is my phone, because my phone's like, it knows what I look at, it knows what I want to see, and it usually shows it to me. But the PC's not as good, even after you log in to the same account. Yeah. So, folks, I mean, it's been pretty quiet. Now, here's one thing I do want to ask from you guys. So, being that I haven't seen a whole lot coming across Facebook today, any BitChute or Rumble posts, I've seen a few. Can't really date them because they're not coming from the original source. Judy Stafford, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. I really, really do. Means a lot. So, sorry, that just took my mind off what I was saying. It's not your fault. Thank you for the support, anyways. But what I would like for you all to do is anything that you've seen that you feel like is credible. Okay, now again, like there's so much information every single day. Something that you really is just like, hey, like this is huge. Go ahead and throw it in chat. Let me log into it real quick. That way it might give me something to look up while we're sitting here and see if we can maybe even debunk it or confirm it while we're live. Yeah, it does, Faith. Very unusually quiet, especially with some of the events that have been happening over the past few days. Dan Scavino has a new Instagram post. I don't have Instagram, unfortunately. Don't know if YouTube lets you put links in the chat, but if you'd like to put a link to it, I'd gladly pull it up and see what it says. Was Hillary arrested? Cindy Clark. I'm going to say this. I can't believe I never caught it before. And I can see if I can search the video. I don't think I have it saved. But I can't believe I hadn't seen the video that close and paid attention to it. But I'm going to tell you something. I watched undoctored CNN video from, I think it was 2017. And I'm sure a lot of y'all remember it, especially once you've seen it. You'll be like, oh, I remember that. Like, everybody was like, oh, she's sick. She doesn't feel good. Some people was like, oh, she's drunk. Hillary Clinton was in handcuffs 100% in that video. If you can pause the video at the right frame, in just a small section of time, you can tell that her hands are behind her back. And it looks like what would be a bracelet. But let me tell you something. Anybody that's too weak to stand usually doesn't have their hands behind their back with two people with their arms interlocked to her elbow, picking her up. And her to have the strength to hold her arms back like this unless they were locked in place by cuffs. Okay? Her hands were behind her back and she had handcuffs on. So, does that throw my mind for a loop? Yeah. Does it really surprise me? No. Yeah, they said she collapsed. Have you ever seen anybody get convicted for like the death penalty in the court of law? Have you ever seen how someone acts when they know that they're done? Her knees were probably weak because she knew where she was going. I don't think she was drunk. I don't think she was sick. I think she was sick to her stomach, knowing what's to come. So, do I think she's arrested? I think she's arrested. Yes. After seeing that video undoctored from CNN, and I've watched it before, I just never paid attention to her hands and really looked closely at the video, zoomed in at what her hand position, her arm position. They were behind her back. I really do feel that way. So, Gina May says, no. I don't know whose question you are answering. I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're answering somebody in there. I've missed a lot of chat. Please show the video. Okay, so, I mean, I can sit here and kind of mumble around a little bit and try and find this video. Actually, if somebody has it at hand, I tell you what, shoot it to me in Messenger right now on Facebook. Just shoot it to me in Messenger if you have it. I'm sure somebody does, like at the ready. Like y'all are digital soldiers from way back. Some of y'all got your gear together. Listen, I know there's a whole lot of theories out there about what happened to Hillary Clinton or where she is, anything like that. So I'm not going to disagree with anybody. I think the fact that we are narrowing the narrative down to such a close proximity of each other, I think we're on the right track. Okay. Well, let me see here. It's in one of my posts. Let me go to my Facebook page. If my computer would cooperate. feel like bear with me. Sandy Long, I sent it to you. Let me see if I see it here. Guys, again, like, I get so many messages. Sometimes I don't get to read yours. I mean, I wish I could. I just don't have enough time in the day to get to everybody. And I lose some. I mean, just like this, I saw this video, I think yesterday or the day before, and was like, holy cow. She's in handcuffs, like, no doubt in my mind. She is. So let's see here. So she says, not the video. Let me go back. This is Karen Morin shot this over to me. See if I can find it. It's more, go back, add a request. Yeah, okay, so Karen, that's the same article of the Navy SEALs arresting Hillary Clinton that I had posted up the other day. So that's not necessarily the video I'm looking for. The video I'm looking for is of Hillary getting put into an SUV. At first, she's like she's got like just some woman. I'm assuming what would be probably a U.S. Marshal or something of that nature, with her arm interlocked with hers. And then as she's starting to collapse, you see a few other people come in and try, keeping her from falling. And eventually, two people are underneath her arms on each side. They pick up on her to get her up off the ground. And at that point, you can see her hands are behind her back at the small of her back, and there are a pair of handcuffs on her. Wanda Scott, I sent the video. Okay, I think there's a little bit of delay between me seeing your chat, the actual message come through. It took Karen a few moments to come through. So let me see if I find it here. Wanda, I'm looking for you. I appreciate you. I thought I posted this video. I really did. Yeah, so Prin, I've got that video of Richard, the journalist. I've got his video up of the motorcade today. Yeah, Benghazi. SEAL Team 6 whistleblower. Yep, no doubt, Laura. We're going to talk about that too a little bit. I don't have any slides up of it, but I'll tell you, I don't have like the latest drop on it. I know that major evidence has been released on Benghazi and the slaughtering of SEAL Team 6 against Hillary Clinton being one of the most prominent organizers in the entire thing, and I forget the other two people's names that were like the main people in it. Now again, if Hillary's already in jail, here's my thoughts, guys. A lot of y'all really got on my posts the other day, and which one was it? I think it was about can't remember. Sorry, there's been so much on Facebook, I can't remember what the post actually was about. But people were kind of getting on me about the fact that I'm losing my train of thought on it, and I hate to do that to you because it does happen to me. I had a couple things going through my head, and I kind of, when I switch direction in my mind kind of wants to keep going on what I was originally thinking about, and I saw that message, and now I've just lost what I was going to get to on that post. But anyways, we'll move on, and I'll digress on that one. Still looking for this video real quick, guys. Yes, this one. This is it. All right. Didn't take too long. Oh no, hold on. Let me get through this ad. You know, that's one thing we could do away with on social media is ads. I remember being like, I hope Facebook never gets ads. It's awesome that they don't have ads. Oh, what in the world? It went to the next video, I guess, on YouTube. Let me try again. So this is a little bit longer, so I'm just seeing what all's in here, but this is the part that I'm getting to. And I'm going to share it with you. All right, so let me turn this on. Dang it. All right, amateur hour again. I forgot that I muted myself to let the audio play on that. So here's what I'm getting to. This is what I believe to be true. And somebody on here said that's an old video. Yes, it is. I think it's from 2017. No, September 12th, 2016 is when this was uploaded. I don't know the date of when this was. I haven't looked that deep into it yet. Yeah, I know, guys. No sound. My bad. Amateur hour on my part. So if you look right here, and it may be hard to see because of how my screen share is set up, you don't get to see the entire picture full screen. I'm not going into that whole story. Just know this is the best I can do right now. So right here, if you can see my mouse, and like I said, look for this video, and I'll post a link to it. You watch it for yourself. Get it on as clear as you can. Her arm right here is bent. It's bent backwards, kind of to the right of the small of her back. Now, right here, you're going to see a gentleman come up and start to put his hand under her elbow. And down here, you can tell that her arm is still at the small of her back. And there's only like 2 or 3 frames that you can really see it. Right there. Wait, no, that's her arm. I think it's right before it goes in front of this metal gate right here. You can see what looks like to, I mean, you could argue that it's a bracelet or something, right? But it's not clear enough to see. Is it silver? Is it white? You know, you can just tell it's really light in color. But again, she clearly has her hands behind her back, and somebody that's weak enough where their knees are giving out, just like that. She's just losing her footing. She's picked up underneath the elbows and arms. She appeared unsteady. So that's just what I see. And again, I'd like for you all to debunk it or confirm it. If you've got better video quality, if you've got anything like that, we're all just trying to figure. I'm here with you guys, okay? Understand that. Like a lot. Here's something I kind of want to get into as well. A lot of people come to me like I know absolutely everything. Like I try my best to use deductive reasoning, okay? The ability to deduce the most crazy stuff and try and bring something that makes sense, right? Just common sense. And I don't know everything, okay? As much as anybody out there, if anybody out there tells you they do, first off, they're lying. Okay, not everybody, not one person knows everything about what has been going on right over the last few months and years of corruption. Okay, so just know that I might be false here that she was arrested. It dang sure looks like it to me. Okay, but we can go into all kinds of theories about that. Okay. So here's another good post that I saw, and I'm going to get back to chat here in just a moment. It's Politico News, and it was from today, this morning, 10:28. Scoop: Trump sends legal notice to the GOP to stop using his name. I could go into this article and read. Pretty much his legal team sent a where's it at? Yeah, so Trump's legal team sends a cease and desist to the RNC, NRCC, and the NRSC, pretty much telling them to stop using his name to promote people that actually he helped get into office, and they've turned on him during the impeachments and everything that happened. So he's telling them, stop using my name to promote yourselves, right? So he issued them a cease and desist order. Kind of just some quick news. He didn't want him using his name. I don't blame him. Keep my name out your mouth if you're going to turn on me. Don't use me to benefit yourself. So a little bit bigger news, yeah. So the Senate passed Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill after what they say a vote-a-rama. I believe it was 50 to 49 vote. All Republicans voted no, and all Democrats voting in favor. Fancy that. So I guess we're going to get some money. It's one of those things where, you know, if it's being given, like if it's just going to get sent to me since I filed my taxes last year, I guess I'll take it, right? But in the same breath, it's like, you know, I think the number was 9% of this $1.4 trillion COVID relief bill was actually going to anything COVID related whatsoever. And the rest of it was all just money movement for the elite, is the way I feel about it. Probably some laundering going on. You know, the same-o, with these bills that they throw 600, 700, 800, 5,000 pages together for people to read and understand and catch everything. Shove a bunch of pages in there and no one will even want to read it, right? That's their mentality. So luckily people did, and there have been a lot of pushback because of that. A lot of pushback. And some of the pushbacks is we have 20 states that send a letter to the Senate leaders promising swift consequences if H.R. 1 passes. Now, the H.R. 1 isn't the COVID relief, but we talked about H.R. 1 the other day. And now we've got 20, count them, 20 states that have just written a letter. I think it was as of today. Let me see the dates. Thought it was up there. Anyways, I'm not going into this long article, but I am going to get to the actual letter. Okay? And I'm going to read this letter out loud because it's kind of hard to see. So if you don't mind, this is the Office of the Attorney General. This was March 3rd this was written. So maybe y'all have seen this, maybe you haven't. I hadn't seen it until today. Maybe it's just because there's just so much out there right now. So March 3rd, addressed to the Honorable Nancy Pelosi, the Honorable Kevin McCarthy, the Honorable Chuck Schumer, and the Honorable Mitch McConnell. I wouldn't call honorable, I wouldn't have put honorable in there whatsoever in front of any of those names. But, dear Madam Speaker, Minority Leader McCarthy, Majority Leader Schumer, and Majority Leader McConnell, as the chief, actually, let me pull this over here so that I can see and just read this to you guys. As the chief legal officer of our state, we write regarding H.R. 1, the For the People Act of 2021, the Act, and companion Senate bill. As introduced, the Act betrays several constitutional deficiencies and alarming mandates that, if passed, would federalize state elections and impose burdensome costs and regulations on state and local officials. Under both the Elections Clause of Article 1 of the Constitution and the Electors Clause of Article 2, states have principal, and with presidential elections, exclusive responsibility to safeguard the manner of holding elections. It is the state's constitutional right to conduct their own elections. Now they are wanting to make it a federal, and we talked about this last night or a couple nights ago. The act would invert that the constitutional structure, commandeer state resources, refuse and muddle election procedures, and error faith in our elections and systems of governance. Accordingly, members of Congress may wish to consider the Act's constitutional vulnerabilities as well as the policy critiques of the state officials. First, the Act regulates election for federal office, defined to include election for the office of president or vice president. The Act therefore implicates that Electors Clause, which expressly affords each state the power to appoint in such manner as the legislator thereof may direct, the state's allotment of presidential electors, and separately affords Congress only the more limited power to determine the time of choosing the electors. That exclusive division of power for setting the manner and time of choosing presidential electors differs markedly from the collocated powers of the article. I'm sorry, guys. Remember, I'm still a redneck, okay? I don't know all words. Collocated powers of the Article 1 Elections Clause, which says that both states and Congress have the power to regulate the time, place, and manner of congressional elections. That distinction is not on accident of drafting. After extensive debate, the Constitution's framers deliberately excluded Congress from deciding how presidential electors would be chosen in order to avoid presidential dependence on Congress for position and authority. Accordingly, the Supreme Court, in upholding a Michigan statute apportioning presidential electors by district, observed that the Electors Clause conveys the broadest power of determination and leaves it to the state legislature exclusively to define the method of appointment of electors. McPherson versus Blacker, 146 U.S. 127, 1892, emphasis added, the exclusivity of state power to define the method of choosing presidential electors means that Congress may not force states to permit presidential voting by mail or curbside voting, for example. Whole nother paragraph of a bunch of cases and case numbers and all kinds of stuff. Next paragraph, unfortunately, these constitutional deficiencies are only the beginning of the Act's problems. As a matter of election administration policy, it is difficult to imagine a legislative proposal more threatening to election integrity and voter confidence. This goes on for about 4 more pages. Point being, at this point, they're not having it. Okay? The states are standing up, just like they have been. Here's your signed attorney generals. You've got Todd Rokita, the Indiana Attorney General, was the first one to sign the document. You know, I'm kind of proud that I'll be moving to Indiana. I've been a Kentucky boy my whole life. And I've always kind of made fun of people from Indiana. Take no offense, but it's like the military. You know, the Army giving the Air Force crap, the Air Force giving the Navy crap, Navy giving the Marines crap, or the Army crap. It's just how it goes. Okay, but it's a lot more laxed over there. You know, there might be signs on the door saying to wear a mask, but if you don't, no one's going to say anything. I feel it's pretty lax. School never went out of session over there. That I know of. Maybe it wasn't never, but they have been back in for a long time. Pretty sure they never took kids out of school there. Next up, you had the Alabama Attorney General, Steve Marshall, Ashley Moody from Florida, Lawrence G. Wasden from Idaho. I love Idaho. I was stationed there for about 3 years, I reckon, of my stint, or about 4 in the military. Jeff Landry from Louisiana, Eric Schmidt from Missouri, Douglas Peterson from Nebraska, Leslie Rutledge from Arkansas, Christopher Carr from Georgia, Daniel Cameron from Kentucky. Good on you, Kentucky. Lynn Fitch, Mississippi, Austin Knudsen from Montana, Dave Yost from Ohio. Then we've got Mike Hunter from Oklahoma, Jason Ravensborg from South Dakota, Ken Paxton from Texas, Patrick Morrissey from West Virginia, Alan Wilson from South Carolina, Herbert Slatery III from Tennessee, and Sean D. Reyes from Utah. So quite a few signatures there, folks. Quite a few states standing up for themselves, calling it as it is, unconstitutional, blatant disregard for the Constitution that they supposedly took an oath to protect. So, guys, I know it's sickening. I know it's not like what we want to see, but understand that the states themselves will negate anything that Biden puts forth that's unconstitutional. Okay, just because a person in federal government says, "Hey, this is now, you know, an executive order, and this is what you're going to do," even if I believe they held water at all, the states are going to do what they're going to do. That's the whole point of having states and their own governance. So good on them. Glad the attorney generals are calling it for what it is and plan on taking action if it's not changed. So thought that was pretty good. Now here's the video of Richard Citizen Journalist. Okay, this was today. Let me pull this up. And a motorcade goes by him today in Washington. This dude's been there for like, I don't know if he lives there. I don't think he does. I think in his older videos he was actually like staying in a hotel, doing some good work for some of the troops down there with food and things like that, and decided to stay. Might have the wrong guy. But Richard, I mean, he's a videographer and a YouTuber and a streamer, and is taking actual video evidence there in Washington. and this motorcade comes by. Evidently, it was enough to surprise him because he says it's been absolutely quiet, nothing going on, and then this motorcade comes through. And I notice a variety of vehicles. Now, someone had mentioned there was a flag on one of the limousines. It wasn't quite clear at first what it was because it was pretty hard to catch a clear photo of it through the video here. But some people are arguing it's the vice president's flag. Some people are arguing it's another flag. I don't know yet. I haven't seen the flag up close clear enough to determine what kind of flag it is. But I want to play this for you all. If it's been so quiet in Washington, why does he film this today? Oh. Let me go back and turn the volume on.
You see here, we have a motorcade of some sort coming through. It's 3:08 p.m. on March 4th. Definitely a motorcade of some sort coming through
apologies,
DC.
this was March 4th.
3:09 p.m. March 4th. There's nothing going on
I
in
just saw
DC,
it
by the way.
posted
No one's here. It's completely. This is the most action we've seen in a while. Is the Secret Service coming through? They're heading towards the Capitol. Union Station right behind us. Damn, that's so loud. Sorry, guys. That's the latest. There's nothing going on in DC, by the way. No one's here. It's completely. This is the most action we've seen in a while. Is the Secret Service coming through? They're heading towards the Capitol. Union Station right behind us. Damn, that's so loud. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so muted again. Dang it. Y'all can tell I need to be doing this every night so I can get more practice at controlling my equalizer. Yeah, I know, I'm muted. It's twice tonight. Fool me once, shame on you, as George Bush's lines would go. All right. I want everybody to see this because this really rubbed me the wrong way. You know, I don't think you'll be able to see the name of who posted this. I'll just say that he's a local, he was actually a teacher in my high school, and he's in our local government here where I live. And he made this post, and it said sensitive content. And I was thinking, man, you know, this guy probably wouldn't put up anything too sensitive, right? I mean, he keeps a clean record on Facebook for the most part. He's very like-minded like we are, okay, with us, but maybe not as flagrant about it as I am. However, I go to click on it. Of course, my curiosity got me. And it's censored by Facebook. And if I click see photo, I want y'all to see something. It's two kids standing up looking at the sky, and it says, "Sometimes I just look up, smile, and say, I know that was you, Dad." Or God, sorry. Thank you. So a picture of two kids looking up, talking, you know, about God and thanking God. Facebook has flagged it as inappropriate, ladies and gentlemen. Are you serious right now? Zuckerberg and your minions? Don't mess with that. Don't mess to with our freedom of religion and speech. It's getting a little out of hand. Really, really is. So here's kind of the last thing I'm going to get to tonight in discussion. Then I'll kind of go back to the chat for a minute before Brad starts tonight. I'm sure he'll be at about 10:30 or so Eastern. But seeing a lot of negative feedback from people on some of these posts about dates. Now, again, I've said I have called a few dates and let you know what some of the clues were pointing to at dates, and have been wrong, and was the first one to tell you I was wrong. But then it got to the point where I was like, this is really in God's hands. I'm not going to call dates so much anymore, but if there's something within Q posts, within executive orders, within timing of things, that we would use those for mile markers. And the 20th of March is a big mile marker. I mean, honestly, it is. If you look at the Presidential Act, the executive order that Trump passed, that he had 60 days of military control for a transition of power in case the person that came in was corrupt and needed to be snuffed, then he would have the capability to. So Inauguration Day was January 20th. March 20th is the 60-day mark. So that is a mile marker for me to keep my eyes open. The left have seemed to have changed their direction on the whole thing and said, oh, well, that's when all these crazy Trump supporters and terrorists are going to come and attack the Capitol or bomb the Capitol building or whatever we were supposed to do, because no one has called out for that. But they were afraid of the fact that President Trump might come and take back the presidency and be inaugurated, enough for them to talk about it. And now they think that we're changing the narrative, that now on the 20th we're going to come attack the Capitol building or something's going to happen. That's untrue. Okay, that is them playing the high violin string to try and change the narrative to everybody that we're the crazy ones in all of this. That just shows me that they are absolutely desperate to change the narrative. And who's calling a conspiracy theorist at this point? They they seem to be doing some pretty good conspiracy theory themselves on that issue. I'm still seeing people say that I'm muted. You should be good. You should be able to hear me right now. I learned my lesson the first 2 times tonight. Also, Saturday, March 20th. It's the first day of spring. Okay? Q has talked about springtime. It's going to be an interesting spring, right? Yeah, you're right, Heather. You put it up. I already had it up. Saturday, March 20th, first day of spring, 2021. Guys, they are shaking in their boots right now, as they should be. They know what they've done if they're still even there and haven't already been arrested. They know what they've done. They know that they're hot on their trail, and they know that we're bloodthirsty. We want justice. America wants justice. Because we know in our soul, in our heart, that it was wrong what happened, and that there's outstanding evidence that it did happen. And no one's turning a blind eye to it. Understand that. The masses are starting to get the news, and they are warming the general public up to the idea that these are some of the things that have been happening while you were asleep, while you were distracted by NFL football, by college basketball, by all the things put into effect to keep your eyes glued on a TV, not paying attention to what's going on in the real world. Okay? All while brainwashing you with Project Mockingbird through all the news stations, telling you what's real and what's not real. And you believing it because you only have an hour to watch TV before you've got to get to sleep and get up and go to work the next day, and that's what you watch. So choose wisely on what you're watching. From here on out, we have been. You all have been, which is good. What do I have on SEAL Team 6? I've watched a few videos, I call them newscasts, whatever you want to call them, with interviews in them, of people that firsthand heard the evidence, audio evidence, video evidence, tons of evidence from a gentleman who's, I guess, been working in the Middle East for about 20 years, has all the intel to release to President Trump. And when asked if he would be willing to provide this information to President Trump, if his safety was guaranteed, if he was flown there to personally deliver it, if he would. And he doesn't say that he wouldn't. He actually says, well, I can tell you first off, I'm not worried about safety. He said, pretty much referred to God as being the only person that, is going to determine when he goes and doesn't go. But I caught later on in one of those, in that interview, that person, and it took her about 10 seconds to think about how she was going to read it or say it, and pretty much states that gentleman who was supposed to have that information was on the move. He was switching locations. Where else are you going while you're in the Middle East? So maybe some things in the works on Benghazi. Pretty much, you all, if you don't know the story of Benghazi, you need to look into it first off. And don't read it from CBS or your local news station or anything like that. You need to get on DuckDuckGo and look up Benghazi. So pretty much, and I'm going to mess it up. I'll try and find this video and post it up on my page later, but pretty much SEAL Team 6 was sent in to kill Osama bin Laden, and there was an agreement between Hillary Clinton and the other folks at the time that they would hold Osama bin Laden in, where was he? I'm trying to think of where he was. Pakistan. So there's audio. I know for sure audio. Don't know about video. Don't know about anything else or email. But definitely audio of, I believe they said Hillary or one of the other two people that were the main subjects in this, say that, hey, pretty much to Pakistan, hold them until pretty much we could use it as a trophy. Like they were having them hold him for the right time for them to move in and kill him. Well, they doubled back and they actually moved him back to Iran or something like that, whenever SEAL Team 6 was like literally already on their way. And they were told to go and kill Osama bin Laden, but actually, in fact, I guess killed his double, while the U.S. citizens were already celebrating the fact that they had killed Osama bin Laden. So I don't know if that means he's still alive, if what happened, where it goes from there. I haven't been into it, but I just saw that Benghazi and SEAL Team 6 information come out, as far as hard evidence, damning evidence that could very well be getting handed off to Trump and his legal team as we speak. So high hopes on that. It's good. It's not only damning for Hillary. If Hillary's already gone or if Hillary's not gone, it is damning for her either way. But I think it's more of a way to warm up the public of some of these people already being gone, because now they're going to say that they are, and let everybody know and why. So these would have been some of the crimes, I believe, if Hillary was arrested, especially at the 9/11 memorial, that this is what she was going to jail for. Part of it. Just scratching the surface, but part of it. So I know I butchered that all up for you. But hopefully that'll at least get you searching. Okay. So guys, that's all I have for tonight on the slides. We've got just a couple minutes here. I'll kind of look in chat, talk to you for a moment. Yeah, so if Richard Citizens Journalist is out feeding troops, and I know he has been, if he's doing it daily, yeah, look him up. Look up Richard Citizen Journalist and donate that guy some money, right? I appreciate Judy Stafford earlier for the support and everybody that supported me so far, but I don't have the means or the capability of feeding the troops there, and he does. So if y'all want to donate some money to somebody that's doing something after that food that they were served, any help to those people or to those troops and to those people trying to help the troops get quality food while they're there would be great. I think you should donate to him because I have seen him do that. He has delivered tons of meals to those troops. Brad's not coming on tonight? Okay. Well, maybe we can sit here and talk for a few. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, Richard is on Telegram. I don't know if he's on any other platforms, but I do know he's on Telegram. So let's do this. I see this Public Law 115-368 National Quantum Initiative Act. I have not researched that yet, so I'm going to real quick. Seen a few people post that. HR 6227. National Quantum Initiative Act. It's not a long read, so let's see here. Okay. This is interesting. And you all in chat can tell me why I may be missing some context to this, okay? But this is pretty neat. So back in December, the 21st of December in 2018, and guys, I'm on congress.gov's website. I'll pull it over here so you can see it. I didn't know I was still screen sharing and out of frame. But I'm at congress.gov, HR 6227, 115th Congress. Shown here, Public Law as of 12/21/2018, National Quantum Initiative Act. Section 101, this bill directs the President to implement a National Quantum Initiative program to, among other things, establish the goals and priorities for a 10-year plan to accelerate the development of quantum information science and technology applications. First off, boom, here's what this tells me. Q, in and of itself, is supposed to be a quantum computer. Quantum computers, if you don't know what they can do, they can process information near or at the speed of light. Okay? It's quantification of information. So this to me is like, boom, back in 2018, he's already putting in law that is furthering this technology. It takes effect today. Okay, maybe I haven't read that part. So supposedly Q was a quantum computer and 4 other gentlemen. This is coming back from Simon Parkes back in the early days of all this. Okay, and it was the thing. It was the one thing that I can make sense of, because a quantum computer, being able to quantify data at the speed of light, can predict based on algorithm and based on probability and based on events of the past. All that Q is the past proves the future, or the future proves the past, meaning the events in the future are going to prove these posts later, right? So a lot of people are asking me, what does this post from 2017 have anything to do with today? Look for deltas. Look for deltas that were made on March 6th, 2018, and see what that Q post says. See if anything came out in the news that may hint or have clues or numbers or phrases or discussions of subjects on those deltas. Some of them aren't even deltas. You can just look at what the post is telling you is going on in 2017 that wasn't going on at the time, but it's happening today, and follow that post to other posts. And guys, it's a rabbit hole. Okay, and it's a rabbit hole for a reason, because it makes it harder for you to figure it out, which is what they didn't want Democrats or anybody on the left to know. Okay, so if you see me put a post up from 2017 or 2018 and it's signed Q at the bottom of it, it's because the future proves the past. So if this is taking effect today, and I'm just going to continue reading this for a moment. Quantum information science is the use of the laws of quantum physics for the storage, transmission, manipulation, or measurement of information. Section 103, the National Science and Technology Council shall establish a subcommittee on quantum information science, including membership from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, to guide program activities. So they have left this to the NIST and NASA to guide the program activities moving forward. Section 104, the President must establish a National Quantum Initiative Advisory Committee to advise the President and subcommittee on the program and trends and developments in quantum information science and technology. Title II, National Institute of Standards and Technology Quantum Activities. Section 201, NIST shall carry out specified quantum science activities and convene a consortium to identify the future measurement, standards, cybersecurity, and other needs to support the development of a quantum information science and technology industry. I think I saw a movie on this one time. It was like they were going, and somebody put it in chat because you're going to know it. Somebody is. There was a movie where like they were arresting people based on them being able to see the future of them committing a crime, killing somebody. It sounds like that's the kind of technology they're playing with right here, okay? So if you're wondering why so many things within Q has come to fruition, okay? Guys, this information is hitting publicly. Okay, I told you all back when I worked on aircrafts, F-15s in the Air Force, the technology that we were flying as of 2010 and even up until today was actually technology from 20, 30 years prior. Okay, so the F-15s that were built in the 80s were using technology from back in the 60s and 50s. Okay, the stuff was high-tech beyond imagination, like thumb drives. Do y'all remember thumb drives? The ability to not have to use a floppy disk or something or a huge external hard drive, and you could fit a terabyte of information into something the size of your thumbnail. That information or that technology is old. Okay, they have new technology that you don't know about. Okay, I promise you don't know about it. So if this is coming out today to the public, I guarantee you years ago they already had working prototypes of this. Okay? It was just classified, which is where I think Q originates. Because it told the future. And it's happened like clockwork based off the past posts compared to, at the time, the future current events. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, this pretty much just goes on to say that the roles of the Department of Energy shall carry out basic research program on quantum information science. The Office of Science of DOE shall establish and operate national quantum information science research centers to conduct basic research to accelerate scientific breakthroughs in quantum information science and technology. So yeah, I mean, guys, they're moving forward with it. That's awesome. Was Trump at the White House Wednesday? I don't know. I think if he was, I don't know. I haven't seen anything on it. I can't answer that question. I honestly don't think he would have any reason to go back. I don't think he wants to go back. I think when he comes back as president, he's not going to Washington. Now, maybe he went there for something else, but I have not a clue. Okay? So that's good stuff right there. Thank you for that. Whoever that was, there was a few of y'all that wrote it, but I caught one specific person's. And, wow. That's big, guys. That really, really solidifies my theory and belief on where Q originated from. They were looking into the future with quantum technology. It doesn't surprise me, LaDonna. She says, I just read this week that China has technology to tell if someone is planning on doing something illegal, and they will use it to stop people from committing crimes. Yep, that's from a movie, and that's crazy if that's true, because that's where this is going. What does Delta mean? So I can't give you the exact term of it, but pretty much like on the anniversary of the date, whether it be the first year anniversary, the second year anniversary, the third year anniversary of the post, is a delta. It's like if you see a post from March 20th, 2017, and today, and there were some posts, and actually some posts you could follow from today, but it would be a 3-year delta. Okay, 3-year anniversary of that post. And guys, you see these anniversary posts from 3 years ago, and the information in that post correlates to something that happened that day in the news. That's how, like, uncoincidental this is. There are no coincidences anymore. Okay? That's why it's blown all of our minds. That's why we've kept digging into Q, because it's playing out. And it's on point 99.9% of the time. Minority Report. Yep, that's the movie. Thanks, Julia Bailey. That is the movie. Minority Report. I forget who was in that movie, but that is it. All right. So, guys, we're going to call it a night. We're a little bit over an hour. I really want to appreciate everybody sticking with this. Okay, there's a lot of weak links in this. A lot of people who are discouraged, a lot of people who have fallen off. I wouldn't even say fallen off the wagon. They've fallen off the planet. You know, they've just gotten so overwhelmed with everything and disappointed on all the news that they took to be true, and maybe it didn't come to fruition. I've been guilty of giving some of that. Okay, I thought some things would happen because it just seems like they should have, but they didn't. And just understand, we can't control what's going on right now. We are not in control of it. Not yet. Okay? The American people will be in control of this one way or another. Yeah, so Tom Cruise was in the Minority Report. That's right. Appreciate it, Gloria, for the good show tonight. I was kind of hoping it would be a decent show, but I just didn't have a lot tonight. Not a lot of information coming across the social media platforms and other resources I use. Yeah, no doubt. I'm tired of being in the Twilight Zone too. I just want justice. That's all I want. Cold hard justice for the people that deserve it and that need to be judged. If we could just get somebody with a set of cojones on them or the backbone to see this stuff and call it for what it is. And I think there's got to be more white hats out there than we think there are. Marty, I saw the Linwood dropped a good tweet. I was curious if that was Linwood's real page, and it looked like maybe it had come from Telegram, but it only had like 35,000 viewers. If that's his actual tweet or his actual account, it was a good tweet. So I think I saw it on Telegram. I'm sure it's the same one you're thinking of. I didn't put it up yet because I didn't know if it was even his page. So let's say this, guys. Don't take your head out of the game. Don't take it out. I mean, here's the way I look at it. If Easter comes, I don't care about the 60 days of military power transition. If Easter comes and something hasn't been overtly done to prove to all of you that this stuff has been a sham, that President Trump's the rightful winner, or he's coming back to take back the presidency because of evidence, damning Biden and Harris and all of them, then I think it's time that we all need to start looking past anybody else doing anything. I hate to say that, and I hate to set a date on Easter, but Easter would put us well past the 20th. Sorry, I was reading something somebody wrote there. Maybe my math's wrong. I have to do it again. March 21st is the 60 days, not March. I didn't say 22nd. I said 20th. Or not. Wait. Okay, so the 21st. I said the 20th. I didn't say the 22nd, but maybe you're right with the 28 days in February. Either way, by Easter, if nothing's done by Easter, you're going to see me start probably changing the way I'm talking to you. Okay? Probably a little bit more urgency in my voice. Probably a little bit more, not panic, because I'm not going to panic, but I'm going to really think it's time for the American people to stand up and take back what we know was rightfully ours. However we may do that. Okay? So everybody have a great night. I'm going to end in prayer real quick. If you'd like to pray with me, please do. If you don't, that's okay. I'm working on it myself, so forgive me if it's not the best. Okay? Dear God, we come to you tonight thankful for your grace, thankful for your understanding, thankful for your leadership and the right way to be. We wish more people saw it that way. We wish more people looked up to you and read your words so that they may see what common sense is. Common sense, I believe, derives from the Word of God. It's what we live by. And I hope that more and more people see that. I hope more and more people speak up about the religion as it's trying to be censored. Relentlessly censored. Among other things. But we ask that you stay with us. You stay in our hearts. You stay in our minds. You stay in our sights to follow you and to be an example of what you want us all to be. If we can do that, we may just sway enough minds that the evil that's been going on and has been normalized in this country should be condemned and rejected and canceled. The wrong things have been getting canceled. And the American people aren't going to stand for it. And we just ask that you stand by our side as we move forward towards whatever path it takes to bring you back into this country and not canceled. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Love you, everyone. Have a great night. Stay a patriot. Hold the fork in line. We'll see y'all next time. Good night.